Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am an empath as well as an intuitive tarot reader here on YouTube. And I am thrilled that you are here with me for this reading. So, to cut straight to the actual point of the reading, we are going to be looking at the current chapter that you are in and that you are closing out, and the next chapter that you will be stepping into. So we are going to be having a look at both of those chapters. We're going to be seeing how they differ from each other, what sort of themes are maybe carried through or carried forward into the next chapter as well. You know, you really don't know. I have no clue what the messages will be like coming through this reading, but I do sincerely hope that it will be very, very interesting. So we have 4 piles to choose from today. We have pile number 1, which is accompanied by Amazonite. This is a raw or, well, it hasn't been like tampered with in any way. It hasn't been shaped in any way. So that's the first pile. For pile 2, we have Serpentine. And this one is not raw, as you can see. Then for pile number 3, we have this pink Tourmaline stone. Again, I think this is unrefined, or I think that's the term. Anyway, and finally for pile number 4, we have this Smokey Quartz. So those are your 4 piles. Take your time, take a few deep breaths. As always, I recommend sort of grounding yourself, closing your eyes, and really sort of feeling into your intuition, your gut reaction, so that you could make the most accurate choice for yourself. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, you are welcome to watch as many as you like, but most likely there is going to be one pile that like speaks to you the most. That's what I've tended to notice. I'm sorry, I'm having so much difficulty talking today, so I don't even know how these readings are going to go. But that's the selection that you have. I'm going to be leaving you here to choose, and whenever you are ready, you can go into the description box or the comment section down below, click on the correct timestamp, and it will take you to your reading. So happy choosing, and I will see you in just a bit. Hello, pile number 1. You chose the Amazonite stone, and which is this really, really nice, like turquoise, almost like baby blue sort of tone. So yeah, it's kind of cute. But we'll put it on the side here. Again, no promises. It might end up somewhere completely different by the end of the video, because again, we have so many cards to go through today. A lot. So let's just get into it. The way that this reading is going to go, I'm just going to walk you through it quickly so that you would know what we are doing. So we're going to look at 2 different like columns or piles of cards. In the first pile, we're going to look at your current chapter, the one that you are closing out. And in the second one, we'll be looking at the one that you are stepping into next. And we're also going to get some extra details through tarot cards that will tell us what was the biggest lesson that you learned from the challenge that, not the challenge, sorry, the chapter that you are closing out, and what was the biggest gift that you got from that chapter. And then from the second pile, or regarding your next chapter, we will see what is the biggest challenge that you will be facing in that next chapter, and also what will be the biggest gift that you will be receiving. So that's the kind of layout of the spread, and we will close the reading out with parting advice from Spirit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing that I want to say as the last thing is that this is a general reading, so please only take the messages as they resonate, okay? And if they don't, just let them be. But yeah, so let's look at the chapter that you are closing out. Okay, we have Can You Hear Me? We have King, with enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge, or excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. We also have She Who Surrenders, chains, bondage, release. Okay. And we have Mouse. No, okay, let's just keep it like this for now. And we have Crow. Okay, and I'm going to keep the tarot cards on the side for a bit. I feel like the chapter that you have been in and that you are now closing out is one of learning about personal power and personal authority. I'm almost getting this sense that in this chapter you have experienced a lot of like suppression or oppression, like sort of having to make room, having to make space for someone else, having to withdraw your own energy so that someone else could shine and so that someone else could kind of like be the leader, be the one who like stands out the brightest and who makes the decisions, who calls the shots. And it really doesn't even matter that much whether that has been through like romantic relationships that you have experienced, where the power dynamic has maybe been like off or a bit like distorted, or whether it's like relationships within your family where you've had that sort of like hierarchy or hierarchical relationship dynamic with your parents or with your guardian, or whatever sort of like relationships you've attracted in your life or you've been a part of. It could even be like dynamics with your friends or with your co-workers. It just feels to me like it's almost like you've been unheard, or you've experienced a lot of these situations where your voice, your opinion, your feelings, your thoughts, like those things haven't really been taken into account, or they haven't been respected. And so I feel like it's not been, clearly it hasn't been the easiest chapter to go through. I feel like this chapter has really like massively tested you time and time again. And I almost get the sense that even though it wasn't like easy to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep going, I feel like every time that you did, every time you went through another like relationship dynamic or another experience where you were made to feel small or insignificant or less than, you actually came out of it slightly stronger, even if you weren't maybe aware of it. Because I'm looking at this Crow card here, and it tells me that I almost feel like this is the sort of progress that was hidden. This was the progress that was happening within you. This like building up your own like confidence, or pushing you to that point where you would start like learning about your own value, learning about the importance of your own voice, of your feelings, of your values, your thought processes, all of those things. I feel like maybe on the outside, it wasn't very apparent, the sort of changes that were happening within you, but I feel like on the inside, the more that those sort of situations happened, the more you started to like notice that there was something wrong with that, or that it's not really okay. And I get the feeling that there is so much value that has been sort of hidden in you, that hasn't been allowed to come forward, that hasn't been allowed to shine. I'm looking at this crow card here with this like amazing ball of vibrant colors, and I'm especially noticing the yellow, the orange and the green here, because that's like the majority of the colors here, and those are the heart chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. And they are so core chakras, like they are such core chakras when it comes to our like personality and how we relate to other people, how we express ourselves. They're very, very important chakras in that aspect. And I feel like there is like all of this beauty and all of this uniqueness that is inherent in you. That's the thing that like hasn't been able to come out, but there is so much magic in that. And I'm also looking at this card over here where like the shell that is part of her is like the majority of it is submerged underwater. It's not apparent, it's not seen, but it's there. And that's the thing that makes her unique, because like on the surface level she looks like a normal human being, but like if you look below the water, below the water level, the surface, you can see that there is actually so much more to her than at first appears. There is something magical about her. There is something special about her. But I just feel with this mouse energy that has been sort of pushed down, and it's almost like you've been ruled by fear. And it's these twisted power dynamics that have made it such a difficult chapter to go through and to bear. But at the same time, it's also exactly the reason why like you've been forced to actually look for that special, unique, amazing traits, you know, within you. It's like, yeah, so the way that I see it is that the universe may have like massively annoyed you with these tests, with these challenges, with putting you through the same power dynamics time and time again. But I feel like it's exactly what was needed to push you to sort of come out of that shell of yours. Push you to want to put your voice out there. And even if you are not 100% there yet, even if you still feel slightly powerless, slightly, you know, like pushed into a corner, beaten down, those are all very, very valid feelings, especially by the looks of like those energies that I'm feeling here. But I also feel like that sort of shift is coming. That shift is coming. Because there are all of these rays that I feel like are sort of coming out now. And again, because this is the chapter that you are closing out, remember, this is the chapter that you are leaving behind. It's something that you will be sort of leaving in the past. Even if some of those feelings and triggers like linger, which they may very well do, because I feel like it has been a chapter that's been quite long, or quite a lengthy process, let's say it like that. But I do feel like the release is coming. So that's the energy of the chapter that I feel like that, you know, you've been in and that you are now leaving behind. So let's look at the tarot cards as well and get a sense of what this chapter taught you and what the biggest gift was that you got from it. So we have the Page of Wands in reverse. Oh, yeah, and the Devil in reverse. Not surprising. Not surprising in the slightest with that king archetype that I was talking about, with like there being these twisted power dynamics where you've been oppressed or kind of like pushed down in some sense. That's the devil there. And finally, let's see what's the biggest gift. Okay, we have the sun in reverse. Yeah, and we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. Okay. So with the Page of Wands in reverse and the Devil in reverse, it's kind of pretty much what we've already been talking about. It's clear to me that this chapter was meant to teach you the lesson of, again, personal authority, personal power, your own sense of like confidence, your own sense of self, in essence, and how you express that, how you sort of make that seen, make that apparent in the world, and how you express yourself in different sort of dynamics with other people, how you fit into different like communities, groups, like what's your place in the world. And I feel like with the Page of Wands reversed, the lesson was that you weren't really given space, you weren't really allowed to express yourself in your truest form. Maybe you weren't even allowed to find your uniqueness and to actually discover who you are, because maybe during this chapter, your own needs and your own journey was sort of pushed to the background, because of someone else, or because of someone else's needs, or someone else's like apparent importance that was made to seem more important than your own. And again, no matter whether it was done by a boyfriend, girlfriend, a spouse, your parents, your siblings, your friends, your colleagues, your boss, whatever. It just seems to me like the universe was pushing you to the limit so that you could see the ways in which your power was being taken away, the ways in which, your light, your fire, the thing that makes you you, was like suppressed and diminished in some way, how your own life force was being stamped out. Because this is like, with the Devil in reverse, this is a majorly toxic energy, and one that is just super, super unfair to you. But I'm really again, I feel like it was necessary to sort of make you see that, to point your sort of attention to it, and to push you to the limit where you finally said, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be treated this way anymore. And that's where the gift comes in, because we have the Sun in reverse with the 3 of Wands in reverse. With the Sun in reverse, that to me is like coming out of the darkness, coming out of this joyless existence, this existence that was serving someone else's interests, that was serving someone else's needs and wants and desires, but that weren't really fulfilling your own. And with the 3 of Wands in reverse, the gift is that now, as you finally see it, as you recognize the thing that is missing, as you recognize the voice that has been suppressed, your own voice that has been suppressed, you now are able to stop the pattern, stop sort of making the same chapter repeat time and time again. You've stopped putting in the energy to expand that energy with the 3 of Wands in reverse. You're now calling back your energy. You're now focusing on you more. Or again, if you are not there yet, then you are starting to. That's the direction that the universe is sort of pushing you into. And that's really the gift, because I mean, as difficult it is to bear, if you think about it in the long run, or if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's a very necessary lesson, because it helps you to not sort of waste your life on the things that are not actually worth it, right? It allows you to take your life back. So I really like that. It's such an empowering sort of lesson. Again, as brutal and as challenging as it may have been, or as it may still be, it's the energy that you are now closing out, and that's what's allowing you to step into something better. But we will be seeing what that is in a minute as we will be looking at your next chapter. So let's see what that is. I'm gonna have to scoop those up some more, but yeah, let's dig into, let me see, I'm gonna put the tarot cards aside again. Let's look at the new chapter that you're stepping into. We have the Morning Dew Girl. Wow, we have Mother, nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life, or smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. We have She Who Enfolds, swathe, embrace, self-care. Wow, okay, this is perfection. I'm loving this for you. And we have Turtle and Raccoon. Oh my God, I love it. The Raccoon is like kind of one of my favorite cards of it. But give me a second, I will be adjusting the cards and then we'll talk about them. So your next chapter is very clearly going to be all about bringing the focus on you. Like this, all of this is just screaming, like, it's screaming self-care. That's the best word, and that's the key word that is on this oracle card as well. And that's really what I feel for you, because like with this mother archetype, I do feel that this is talking about you starting to sort of become a mother to yourself, or become a mother to your inner child, and really like starting to offer yourself that nurturing, loving, caring, patient energy that you haven't really gotten from the relationship dynamics that you have been a part of in the past. So because we're dealing with this like maternal energy here, it doesn't mean that you have to be a female yourself. This is just the archetypal energy, and it's not, dependent on gender. But because it's a maternal energy, more specifically, I do feel like the energy dynamic could be like with your parents for a lot of you, because that's the kind of like focus that is coming through here. But again, it doesn't have to be, so take it as it resonates. But I do love that you are sort of starting to look after yourself, starting to put yourself first as a mother does their child, right? Like setting yourself as your own priority, and really starting to listen to what your emotions are telling you, what you need, what you want to experience, how you want to be treated, what you want to put your energy, your focus, your attention, your love, what do you want to put all of that into? Because I feel like for the longest time, that has been something that hasn't really been asked from you, or maybe that you haven't even asked yourself. And now it's like, finally, I'm looking at this Morning Dew Girl, and it almost feels like she's like washing herself. She's releasing something. She's releasing all of those drops, right? It's like this cleansing energy that I'm almost feeling with this Morning Dew Girl. But I also feel like she's she's holding, like, she's giving space, right? She's giving space to those water drops. And I feel like now as you are emptying out all of the, like, the needs, the emotions, the wants, everything else from like other people, you're making space for your own emotions, to hold your own emotions. So it's almost like this cleansing and like detoxing energy that you will be doing. And as you do that, you're setting yourself as your priority. You are embracing your own needs. You are embracing what you really want. And looking at this raccoon, because this is again very much like a hermit kind of energy. But it also is reminding me again of this mother archetype, because raccoons, they look after their children very, very much. They look after their children very well. And so I'm kind of getting that confirmation here again. But I do feel like it's just going to be so much focused on you, that the next chapter that you're stepping into, it may be one where, like, the people who you don't even necessarily have to be leaving them behind from this chapter, right? They may still be in your life, especially if they are your family members, or if they are people that you can't really easily just like ditch, right? But even if you are like keeping those relationships alive in your life and those people present in your life, I just feel like there is going to be this internal shift. And as you sort of turn your focus more on yourself, these people are going to notice it, and these people may react kind of funnily to it, or in a somewhat interesting way, I have a feeling. They may have a hard time like coming to terms with it, or they may be surprised by it, they may be shocked by it, they may be angered or upset by it. Because in essence, what is happening is that they are losing their like support system. They are losing something that they have always been able to rely on, and it's going to sound really harsh, but like take advantage of, right? And for some of you, it's going to be like more brutal, more intense. For others of you, it's going to be more mild. But that's like in essence what is going to be happening. And so, yeah, I feel like as your focus is shifting, you yourself may desire to like spend less time with those people, or maybe to like, again, for some of you, it could be that you want to cut the cords altogether. That's also a possibility. But with this raccoon, I definitely feel that this is going to be a period in which you are much more focused on yourself rather than other people. And with this turtle, I just feel like now is going to be the time where you start exploring. Now is going to be the time, or this next chapter is going to bring into focus like all of the things that maybe you've had to put on hold, or maybe you haven't even had a chance to like weigh up or consider in the first place, because your focus was on someone else or something else. But now it's like the ocean is pretty much like free. The ocean is opening up for you, and you can really like go anywhere you want. But I do feel, because both the raccoon and turtle, they're both kind of making me feel like this slowing down energy. It's like there's no rush, there's no hurry, and there's just time and space for you and what you want to do and experience. So yeah, your next chapter is clearly going to be sort of turning your priority back onto yourself and starting to really look after you, and like setting a priority to really fulfill the desires, and to even, again, to start exploring what your desires are, what kind of life you want to live. and what sort of goals you ultimately have for your life. Like now in this next chapter, you're going to have space to do that. You will be making space for that as you're shifting your priorities. So that's actually really, really amazing. And I'm also noticing all of the leaves. So I don't know if that has a significance to you, like I don't know, the forest or trees, plants. I don't know. Maybe they have like some sort of special significance to you. I don't know. That's just something that I randomly noticed. So take it as it resonates, and if it doesn't, just forget about it. But let's look at the tarot cards as well. So let's see what is going to be the biggest challenge that you'll be facing in this new chapter, and what is going to be the biggest gift that you get from it. So starting from the challenge. Okay, 8 of Cups. Why am I not surprised? And the 4 of Cups. Yeah. Okay. And, ooh, we have the High Priestess. Wow, what a powerful energy. And the Fool. Oh my God, I'm loving it. You're getting 2 major arcana and 2 very, again, self-focused major arcana, which is not a bad thing. I also want to point that out. You know, sometimes when people hear like sentences like, oh, you'll be focusing on yourself and you'll be putting yourself as a priority and not really like putting that much energy into other people's needs, it may come across as like something that's bad or something that's like selfish or self-centered, and that is not the case at all. Okay, I do really want to say that, especially to you, pile number 1, because I feel that you may really like struggle with a sense of guilt when it comes to putting yourself first, or maybe so like such a weird feeling for you that, you know, it may make you feel sort of uncomfortable, or even like, you know, making you feel like maybe you're doing something wrong by like focusing on yourself and not focusing on other people and what other people want from you. But it's something that I feel like is just a result of all of this conditioning. It's all of these dynamics that have been playing out for, as I said, likely years, likely for a very, very long time. And it just takes some getting used to, but I do feel like you can absolutely do it. And I do see you setting yourself free here, especially with the Fool, but it is going to be challenging. So let's start with that. We have the 8 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So I do feel like the biggest challenge for you is going to be actually turning your back on this like unfulfilling, non-appreciative. Okay, maybe that's even not the case for all of you. Maybe for some of you, you are getting appreciation, but it's just like fueling this focus that you have on like wanting to dedicate your life to someone else, or wanting to be in service of someone else, or feeling like you need to retract your own light, your own energy, and you know, your own like charisma from the picture due to someone else. So I do see that it's going to be very difficult for you to sort of separate yourself from that, or to even like keep yourself in check when you have that sort of knee-jerk reaction to like dive into battle for someone else, to just go ahead and start solving other people's issues, or being for them if they are struggling, or if they turn to you out of their own reflex to get some sort of comfort, to get some sort of validation, to get some sort of like emotional balming sensation that you offer them, right? Because that sort of thing is, I feel like it's still going to be continuing, but it's going to be up to you to sort of pay attention to your own boundaries, recognize your own boundaries, and see if like if it's too much what people are asking of you, if it's like overstepping your own again, your own boundaries and jeopardizing your own well-being. Because again, this leaf can only carry so much. So if you have to like share this leaf and carry other people's burdens alongside your own, it's going to break, or you are going to break, right? Either or. And so this is going to be your biggest challenge, no doubt. This wanting to go back to the old and familiar pattern that is actually detrimental to you and to your own well-being. So keeping yourself sort of separate from it with this Four of Cups, like even ignoring it at some point, or putting a very, very strict and concrete boundary down if you feel like too much is being asked of you. If it's like, if you feel like you don't have it in you to give that sort of support that is needed or that is asked of you. But again, with the gift, we have the High Priestess and the Fool. I mean, these are like some really, really powerful energies, especially the High Priestess. And we are having like more of this feminine energy. Again, doesn't mean that you need to be female in any form. This is just this like ultra powerful and sort of peaceful and flowing and allowing energy. And that energy exists in all of us to bigger or lesser extent. And I just feel like that's the energy that is coming forward, because the High Priestess has very, very much appreciation and very much respect for her emotions, for her inner landscape, and for her own soul, for her own purpose. Very much respect for that. And so that's the energy that is the biggest gift for you from that chapter, where it's almost like this emotional sovereignty. That's what I feel like. And again, the High Priestess has very, very clear boundaries in place as well. She doesn't need to like vocalize them in any way. She just has that sort of power and aura about her. And I feel like that's the kind of energy that you will be stepping into as you sort of go through this next chapter of yours, as you learn these new lessons of like putting yourself first. And especially with the Fool, this is like you rediscovering joy for life, starting to explore, just as I was talking about with the turtle here, starting to explore what your life is all about, what your journey is all about, what the universe has in store for you. Like you can see it here as well. They are looking down over the ledge, or all of this open space, all of this universe that is waiting for them. And it's like, just, you know, jump on in and see what is there, because it's massive, it's vast. There are so many things that you've yet to experience, that you've yet to go through, and it's all waiting for you. And I feel like, you know, it's something that your soul has always been waiting for, but it just has been sort of dormant because of this conditioning that you've gone through. And, you know, it may feel as though you've been wasting time, or you may feel kind of annoyed, like, why did I have to go through that? Why did I even have to experience this chapter? Like, it's not fair. But I feel like the sort of strength and sovereignty and power that you are discovering as a result of that, it's like, it's not comparable to, you know, the power that you have just like from kind of being yourself, but without having gone through these sort of challenges and obstacles. Because, you know, it does truly, it sounds so cliche, but it's really true. Like the things that, whatever, like, what's the right term? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah. And the people who haven't had to go through that sort of difficulty that you've had to go through, they don't even know what it's like. They don't even know like what it means to have to fight for yourself, for your soul, for your journey, and for your place in this life. And so, again, having gone through something like that, it puts a different kind of fire in your belly. And so I just feel like you're going to have much more fun because of it. I really do feel that with the Fool here. And it's just so much freedom. I'm looking at all of this open space and it's just so much freedom. So I am really happy for you, pile number 1, because it does look absolutely amazing and you so deserve it. So I hope that you are excited for your next chapter, because it feels like empowering as ... But yeah, that's the main part of your reading. But let's look at the last parting message from Spirit to sort of guide you on your way. Wow, we have Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Okay, this is too perfect and I'm absolutely loving this for you because it just perfectly sums up all of this reading, everything that we have been talking about. And it is clear that times are going to be changing. It's clear that this old paradigm, these old power dynamics that you've had with people, where people have been taking advantage of you, they are coming to a stop. They're coming to an end because you have become so much more wise and knowledgeable and, again, respectful of your own boundaries. And yeah, so that's really what's opening up for you. And Spirit clearly knows that you've got this. And all you really have to do is just enjoy the ride and see what your journey has in store for you, because you can absolutely do it and live your most amazing, fierce life. So, oh my goodness, pile number 1, what a roller coaster of a reading. I really loved delivering this message to you because I feel so happy. I feel so happy for you. And I hope that this liberating message was something that you enjoyed listening to as well. If this resonated for you, if this spoke to you at all, even in the slightest bit, I would really appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up, or if you wanted to share your experience in the comment section and let me know how it resonated. And of course, if you haven't already, I would really love it if you decided to subscribe and stick around for future readings. It would mean so much to me. But if I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourself. Be super kind and gentle to yourself. And I am sending you all the best, pile number 1. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You chose the Serpentine stone. Very special, very cool stone. Super powerful as well for any kind of like Kundalini awakening energy. So yeah, that's the stone. But okay, hang on. Sorry. It's just, it keeps making these noises. Okay, anyway, let it be. So, wow, yeah, let's get into this. So the way that this reading is going to go, I'm just going to quickly walk you through it, is we are first going to look at the chapter that you are closing out, that you have been in currently, or that you are still in currently. And then we're going to look at the chapter that you are stepping into next. We're also going to be looking at some tarot cards, which will give us some more details about the kind of lesson that this current chapter has taught you and the gift that it's given you, versus the biggest challenge that you will be facing in the next chapter, and also the biggest gift that this next chapter is going to be giving you. So it's going to be this nice like compare and contrast kind of energy that we will be doing. But yeah, so that's that. Let's start off with your first part of the reading, which is the current chapter that you are closing out. So yeah, last thing, this is a general reading, okay guys? So always take the messages that resonate, and everything else, just forget about it. But let's see. What is the chapter that you're closing out? Okay, we have A Long Way Home. We also have student with humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning, or arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, or unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Okay. We have she who rises up, empower, uplift, elevate. Interesting. And then we have firefly and elk. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put the tarot cards on the side as we are starting off with these energies first. I get the feeling that the chapter that you have been in and that you are now closing out is one of like trying to find the real sort of life direction, or the most authentic life direction for you. I almost get this like slightly contrasting energy that that's like, as you can see, I changed these cards around as well. I put the elk on this side and the firefly on this side because I get a very strong like contrasting energy where it feels like on the one hand the chapter that you've been in has like a lot of the focus has been on sort of grounding something, or manifesting something, or making something physical, like taking sort of concrete steps to achieve something in the material sense, in the material world, whether it be like financial well-being, whether it be some sort of like career, or some sort of like social status, whether it be an actual like educational background, right, that you could like put on your CV and sort of show off. Whatever it is, I just feel like there's something very like physical, very responsible, very practical about it, very grounded. And then there's this other side, which feels very like light and joyful and vibrant and just excited, motivated. The energy that like lights everything up. And for some reason, I feel like those two are so completely different. And that's kind of the thing that I feel. It's like maybe you've been, you know, focusing a lot of your time, maybe a lot of energy in this or during this chapter has gone to trying to find something, some sort of creative outlet, or like job or career direction for you that that would be able to unite these two aspects, where they would be giving you the sense of security, stability, and financial like well-being that you are after and that you are yearning for and that you clearly need if you want to survive, right? You need something in the physical sense to do well, or to survive and to look after yourself and to have all of your needs met. But on the other hand, I feel like you've also tried to find something that would like make you happy, that would fulfill you on not just the material sense or level, but also on an emotional level, on like a passionate level, like that would also click other sorts of boxes for you as well. Not just be the thing that is the reasonable choice or the safe choice or the materially securing choice. But I feel like it's been a very long search that you've been doing. And I feel like you've been trying a lot of different things, but it's almost like nothing has really 100% clicked for you. You may have tried out all these different sorts of careers or job opportunities, but maybe nothing really stuck with you for a very long time. Or maybe a lot of those things that you like went out for, that you tried, maybe you didn't even like get very far in those. it just feels like there's been a lot of this like trial and error sort of things. But at the heart of it, I feel, is this yearning to find the thing that is yours, the thing that would call to you, the thing that would light you up, the thing that would make you really, really like happy and passionate and thankful to be able to do that for a living. So it just feels like there has been a lot of this wandering energy. There's been a lot of this like exploring energy that you've done. And I feel like as much as it has been like fun in some instances, and as much as it has given you all these sorts of different like experiences and all of this knowledge about what you are good at, what you are not good at, what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing, I feel like nothing has really given you that like jackpot moment. And so yeah, I just, that's the essence that I'm feeling from this chapter that you've been in. And like, it doesn't even have to mean that you know, that you need to be a young person, or that you need to necessarily have just recently like finished some sort of school or university. It doesn't have to be any of that. You could be, you know, you could be more mature as well. You could be in the like the middle age part of your life, or you could even be older than that. But it's just like, regardless of how the searching thing has been going for you, whether you've been doing something that hasn't actually been too like fulfilling for you, just to like pay the bills, and now you've been sort of like trying to look for or find the thing that would actually make you happy, whether you actually went to study something again, or to learn new skills, new abilities, or again, whether you are this like young person who has recently started to figure out what you want to do with your life. Regardless of where you are on your journey, I feel like the kind of the focus is the same. That it hasn't really clicked into place for you, whether you've already been working at a job, or whether you have done like several different jobs and tried out several different things but haven't really found the one for you, right? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this chapter. It's just a lot of like exploring and trying to find out the one that works for you. But let's look at the tarot cards and see what has been the biggest lesson that this chapter taught you, and what has been the biggest gift that this chapter has given you. Okay, so we have the Empress in reverse as the biggest lesson. Wow. And the Three of Swords. And the biggest gift is the King of Pentacles. Yeah, that very much this elk energy, very much this like financial, safe, secure energy that I was feeling. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So that's really interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, I feel like looking at the Empress in reverse and the Three of Swords, it's just kind of clear to me that the biggest lesson that this chapter has given you is that you can't have true abundance, true prosperity, if there is some aspect of you that is not happy with what it is that you are doing. If there is not that sort of recognition, or this sense of like pure joy and fulfillment of being able to do what it is that you do, if something is missing, then there can't really be like, again, true abundance, which is what I feel with the Empress in reverse here. And that's really what this chapter has taught you, kind of not to settle, because settling is the thing that eats you up alive. It's the thing that like, it's just, that's the best way to say it. It just eats you up alive. And it's the thing that you will be looking back on your deathbed and thinking like, why why did I waste my time doing this? Why did I not respect that like knowing feeling in my gut that this job, this company, this business, whatever it is that I'm doing, that this is not for me, that it's not making me happy, it's not ticking all of my boxes. And that's truly like the biggest gift at the same time, or the biggest lesson, but I also feel like it's the biggest gift because it's saving you from like feeling that sense of disappointment and like regret later down the road, right? So that's what I feel like the main lesson has been here during this chapter. But we have this King of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And that's the thing that has been the biggest sort of gift for you during this chapter. Sorry, I keep forgetting the word chapter. I'm struggling with words anyway, but you can clearly hear it. So, you know, just bear with me. But I do feel like with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it's almost like I feel like the gift here is that you've been taught to take more risks, or this chapter is this sense of like you needing to, or feeling the need to like push yourself to find whatever this perfect match is for you, where all of your needs would be met. That's like, that sensation is allowing you to like take the necessary risk to, again, to not settle, because like with the Four of Pentacles coming out in reverse, this is you like not holding on. This is you not settling and not accepting whatever this like subpar thing is. And even though I do feel like and it's probably not going to be true for all of you, but for some of you definitely, even though whatever it is that you have been doing up to this point in your career, in your job sense, financially, even though it may have been like financially putting you in a safe and secure place, again with this King of Pentacles, I feel like it has been financially like sufficient and maybe even financially like secure, financially well off, this position what this position has offered you. It's like, I feel like you've not like got stuck in there, or you've not settled for it, or you've not sort of become a prisoner to that financial aspect. So that's definitely that I feel like what I feel for some of you. I hope that made sense, because I'm kind of confusing myself as well here, but I hope that for those of you who this message is actually meant for, understood what was trying to come through here. But for others of you, especially if you are, again, from the younger generations and you haven't really been working at a job, or maybe you've tried like short-term different gigs and nothing has really stuck, and you haven't really had the opportunity to build up like some sort of financial security for yourself or financial stability, I actually feel like that's where the gift lies in for you. The fact that you haven't had this security or this stability to sort of get stuck in, to waste away in, because it's like as soon as you have that financial security, it's very easy to just stay there, right? Because like, you know, that's what settling is. You know that there is possibly something better out there for you. You know that you are not 100% happy, but it's like the conditions are sufficient enough that you can like bear them, you can tolerate them, and you can put up with whatever is missing because, you know, it's safe, it's comfortable, it's secure. And that's what I feel like this gift is, that because that sort of security hasn't been given to you, so you've been pushed to like keep looking, right? And again, for others of you who have had the ability to create that sort of financial stability or security for yourself, It's like, thanks to this urge, or thanks to this like shift that I feel like has occurred in you, or these feelings that have started to rise up because of this like sense that not everything is 100% happy, and I'm not really enjoying what it is that I'm doing, and I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. That has pushed you to sort of be willing to take the risk, especially if you have some sort of like financial cushion to fall back on. So yeah, again, that's what I feel from this current chapter that you have been sort of going through and experiencing. It's kind of interesting. It's very, very interesting, and definitely very much like life direction, career, that sort of area focused. But let's keep going. Let's look at your new chapter now, and let's see what that has to offer you. So again, I'm sorry I am fidgeting around a lot, I know, but okay, I'm just trying to kind of scoop those up and make space for the next cards. So let me get those in place, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, wow. So for your next chapter, we have Stranded. We have Angel, helping those in need with no expectation of return, or acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. We have She Who Hesitates, ponder, delay, confidence. We also have Fire Ant and Otter. Oh my god, Otter is my favorite. But okay, anyway, I'm putting the cards in place, and then we will talk about them. Okay, so wow, looking at your next chapter, pile number 2, I definitely get a strong sense that it will have a very big part of your next chapter will be other people. Or I feel like there will be a bigger focus on like trying to help others, or trying to be useful to others, and sort of put your sort of talents, put your skills to use, so that you could help those that really, really need it. Because I'm looking at all 3 of those cards. We have this Stranded card, this Angel card, and this Fire Ant card. And it's clear that, like, I feel like the next chapter will be focusing on aspects that, or like issues that need solving, that need to be sort of healed or mended in some way, that need to be dealt with. And I feel like that's what's going to be a big, big focus for you in your next chapter. Because even with this Otter card, and as I said, it is my absolute favorite card in this deck. And it is a very playful card, and it's a very like sweet card as well. The energy of the Otter is very, very sweet, but it's also very social. And the energy that I'm feeling with this Otter is actually one of like unconditional love. Like actually just sharing yourself, sharing your love, sharing your care out of the goodness of your heart, because it's something that, again, makes you feel good. So I'm not saying that it's going to be like the case for all of you, that you will be, that maybe the calling that is yours in this lifetime, or the job or the career that you have always been looking for, is somehow tied in with like helping other people. But because for some of you, it may not even necessarily have to be a career. It may actually be that maybe the focus, or the sort of place that you've been searching for, where you really belong, is just like looking after your family, or just like using your gift or your form of expression to sort of help spread the word in some way, or offer some sort of like consolation or you know, have a positive impact on people is kind of what I'm trying to get across here. So yeah, it really could be like so many different things. Maybe some of you actually realize that you were born to be a poet or a musician. Maybe some of you realize that you would make an amazing therapist, or maybe some of you realize that you know, you are a great problem solver, or maybe you feel like you would do really well in the field of medicine. You know, it really, like, there are so many different ways in which you could help people, and I feel like that's truly what your next chapter is going to be about. But I also feel, because this is the only card that is kind of like making me question, or like ask like, huh? Like, what's going on? Because I'm looking at this like ponder, delay, confidence, and this hesitation energy. And I almost feel like there could be sort of like this feeling of like not being good enough, or not being up to the task, or, you know, there is something about this aspect of like helping other people that makes you question your ability to do so. That's the only thing that's kind of like tripping me up here, and that I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out how this fits into the picture, because like from the looks of it, there is something that is like very, very magnetizing about you, and something that is just like pure light. Because even like looking at these two energies, we had this firefly, and we had the empower, uplift, and elevate. And that's really what I feel from you, is like that there's this general quality of like you having a very positive or uplifting effect on other people. And maybe other people really enjoy being around you, and maybe you draw in a lot of people very easily as well. But like, there's something about like you not really fully believing it, or seeing how you could really like actually help someone or be helpful to someone, even though I feel like it's already there, it's already within you. There is definitely this quality, or even this like almost this like light worker vibe that I'm getting. And it doesn't mean that all of you have to be light workers, but there's definitely this healing quality about you, this soothing quality about you. And I feel like that's a very, very big part of your next chapter, to sort of turn your focus on that, and yeah, and to give of yourself to like situations that really need your help. But I also feel like it's something that truly, like, again, makes you feel good, that makes you feel valued and appreciated, and like you are actually doing something of importance, actually doing something that matters. So yeah, I'm just not sure how this like hesitation plays into it, because okay, it could be that like that's one of the things that may be challenging you, and we will see that in a second when we look at the tarot cards. But just because I feel like looking at the student archetype that is part of the current energy, or this current chapter that you are closing out, you could be feeling like you are not as of yet like qualified enough, or that you still need to keep learning or to keep improving to be able to help someone, or to be able to do something meaningful for someone. But I just want to like bring out this this card in full, because I almost feel like there is this even though it's a light attribute, it says openness to lifelong learning. I feel like it's a good thing, but But at the same time, I also feel a connection to this unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. I feel like that's where the hesitation sort of comes in for you, where it's like you almost feel, no matter how much you learn something, no matter how much you practice something, no matter how much you get experience in something, you always feel like you're not up to scratch, or you could learn more, you could improve more. There's more for you to sort of tackle and master. And I feel like it's just kind of your own super critical like personal dialogue coming through, and it's not actually rooted in truth at all. Because as I said, I feel like this talent, or this light within you that you are meant to use in this lifetime, or that seems to be a very big part of like where the universe is urging you towards, that's inherently already in you. It's not something that you need to like learn or master somehow. I just feel like you really just need to use it, and that's it. And I know that it's a lot easier said than done, but that's really what I'm feeling here. So yeah, let's see if this is the part of the challenge that I'm sensing. So we're going to look at the biggest challenge that this next chapter is going to bring you, and then we're also going to see what is the biggest gift that this chapter will give you. Okay, yeah, Knight of Wands coming out for the challenge with the Chariot. Yeah, definitely confidence with both of those. Okay, not surprised. And let's see what the gift is. Ooh, wow. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Wow. Okay, I actually really like it. So, oh God, I don't know which one to start from. I really want to start with the gift, but it's always best to leave the positive thing in the end. So, okay, we'll leave it there. We'll talk about it a bit later. So, let's talk about the challenge. With the Knight of Wands and the Chariot, as I said, both of these cards are full of confidence. And so I do feel like the biggest challenge for you is going to be believing in yourself, that you deserve to be doing whatever this form of help that you'll be stepping into is, that you are up to the task, that you have everything that you need, that you have learned as much as you can learn, and that you're prepared, especially with the Chariot here, because the Chariot is all about like moving on to the next level, because there is some sort of level that you have already like successfully gone through, and now it's time to move towards something new. It's a card of victory, but it's also a card of like taking action. It's a card of movement. So is the Knight of Wands. They're both cards of movement. And I feel like the biggest challenge for you, as harsh as this sounds, pile number 2, is going to be getting out of your own way, not standing in your own way because of these feelings of like not being good enough, or not knowing enough, or not having the right skill set. Whatever those sorts of hesitations within you are, and again, it's in no way a criticism, okay? Because we all deal with insecurities, we all have them in whatever form, but we all struggle with them to some extent. And for you, it's just something that is going to be a bigger challenge to overcome during this next chapter, so that you could sort of step into the role that you are meant to carry out in this next chapter. But it is going to require you to just kind of trust and have faith in everything that you already have within you, and sort of the direction that your heart is pulling you in. Because there could also be some sort of like hesitation or like questioning regarding the financial aspect of things. It could be that like maybe you really want to dedicate your life, or at least this chapter, right? Maybe you really want to do something that would help other people, but maybe you're afraid that it's not going to keep you financially afloat, that it's not going to, you know, give you the sort of security that you really need. But I feel like with the Chariot here, again, because the Knight of Wands doesn't really ask questions, the Knight of Wands doesn't really hesitate, the Knight of Wands just kind of rides in on like pure gut instinct, on pure inspiration, pure fire. They just follow where they are being called to. And the Chariot is very much the same energy. It's that energy of like having faith in the divine, like guiding you in the right direction, guiding you where you need to go. Even though you are the charioteer, even though you have sort of the leadership position in the chariot, right? There is still this like cooperation element with the divine where like even, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm going to try and show you. Her eyes are closed on this card. I hope you'll be able to see it. Her eyes are closed. So she's not seeing where she's going, but she doesn't need to, because she has full confidence that the universe is guiding her. Like even the cloak that she's wearing, it's like, it has the stars, it has the galaxy in it. So she knows that the universe is at her back, is guiding her exactly where she needs to go. And so she's not really questioning that. And she's just taking action based on what she feels is right. And I feel like that's the same thing for you. But again, it's a challenge for a reason. It's supposed to challenge you to like prove something to you. And to again, to build some sort of strength within you up. And looking at the gift here, I actually really, really love this energy, because first of all, with the Ace of Pentacles, again, we're getting two material cards. So it's clear to me that the material side is going to be coming. Like you're not going to be left without. There is definitely going to be a financial aspect to this. It's going to be paying off for you. But with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like the biggest gift from this chapter is that you can kind of like stop searching. You can kind of stop, what's the best way to say this? It's like you'll be finding this sense of like security and knowledge or confidence that you have what it takes and you can do this, and this is the right thing for you, without needing or without feeling the need to constantly keep like studying more, or feeling like you're not prepared, you're not good enough, you're not up to scratch. Like that feeling with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is what I feel like is going to be going away. And that's the biggest gift here, because right now I feel like that's one of the things that you are possibly like still massively, massively struggling with, is the feeling that you are not good enough, that you need to keep improving, you need to keep studying. And again, it's a really positive thing to want to keep like broadening your horizons and to keep like, you know, bringing in more knowledge, bringing in more wisdom, more experience. It's an amazing thing. But at the same time, if the fear of like having to keep studying something, or, you know, or feeling like you are not ready, or you need to do something more, if that sort of paralyzes you and stops you from actually putting all of that knowledge that you have already gained into use, that's where it becomes a problem. And I feel like that's really what's been sort of standing in your way, what's been stopping you from finding this true passion of yours, this thing that really lights you up. But I feel like that's what the focus of your next chapter is going to be. Finding that and focusing on that and dedicating yourself to that. Oh my God, yeah. So again, I really, really feel super excited about your next chapter because it feels very, very meaningful and very much like you stepping into the role that your soul really wants you to step into. And that is also going to be explaining or sort of it's going to start making sense why none of those other things that you've been trying up to this point, why none of those things really worked for you, why none of those things truly like lasted, because they weren't meant to last, because they weren't the thing for you. But I feel like this next chapter is going to reveal the thing that is. But that's the main reading for you, pile number 2. I really hope that it was useful, but we're going to close this reading out with a parting message from Spirit. So let's see. Wow, we have snake, shed old skin. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I feel like the oracle kind of says everything that needs to be said, because it's exactly that. You are elevating into new levels with the Chariot here. You are leaving something behind, something that you have in fact mastered, even if you are not able to see it yourself right now. And even if you have to kind of struggle a bit with it in that new chapter, I feel like in the end, when the sort of, you know, when the proof arrives in physical form as well, that's when I feel like you'll be able to kind of see it and to get that sort of reassurance that may be missing at the beginning. But the universe really urges you to move forward and to actually put your sort of focus on the thing that really lights you up. Again, to not settle, right? That's what this current chapter has been all about. Wow. But anyway, okay, I'm going to close this reading out now, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really enjoyed delivering this message, and I do sincerely hope that it gave you something useful to think about, that it spoke to you, that it resonated, and that it, you know, it offered you, oh my God, it offered you something positive. Okay, it's really time for me to stop now. So if I don't see you in any of the other piles, I am wishing you guys all the best. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of those things if this reading resonated with you. I would really, really love to hear from you. And as always, I would love to be hanging out with you in the future too. But in the meantime, I am seriously wishing you so much love and light. And I hope to see you very soon in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. You chose the pink tourmaline stone. And so this is your reading. Now, first of all, I hope you're all doing really, really well and that you are excited for this reading, because I definitely am. The way that this reading is going to go, just so you could have a clear overview, is we're going to create 2 separate piles. The first pile will be showing us details about your current chapter, what it's been like, what it's been about, and then we're going to look at the next chapter that you are moving into, and we're going to see what that one is all about. And we're also going to be looking at some tarot cards as well that will give us sort of a clearer understanding of the main lesson that this chapter that you are now closing out has taught you, and also the biggest gift that it gave you. And when it comes to the new chapter, we will see what the biggest challenges that you'll be facing, as well as the biggest gift that that next chapter will be giving you. And then we will be closing the reading out with a parting piece of advice from Spirit. So very exciting stuff ahead. We have lots of cards to go through, so let's just dig right into it. Oh, sorry. See, there are so many. I kind of need to separate them. But yeah, that's it. This is a general reading, just as a last reminder. So only take the parts that truly resonate, and everything else you can leave behind. Okay, so let's see what is the chapter that you are now closing out. Okay, we have my home is my castle. We have damsel. Understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself, or waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. We also have she who begins. Launch, actualize, potential. We have buffalo. And we have wolf. Oh, actually, yeah, let's do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna keep the tarot cards on the side here as well, and let's focus on these bad boys first. So this current chapter that you are now closing out, that has mainly been about like you trying to keep yourself safe. That's the thing that is coming through so incredibly strongly for me. Like the keyword safety. And I feel like it's, it almost feels like a double-edged sword in a way. So I just feel like there has been some part of you that has really enjoyed this sense of like comfort and the sense of being in a certain way, not really breaking the status quo, not really breaking any molds, just sort of existing in the structures that have been in place, and yeah, and not really shaking anything up too much, just following the protocol, following the way that things have been, the things that sort of the habits, the routines, the lifestyle that you've had, and sort of just like rolling along with it. Whilst the other part of you, I feel like, has sort of quietly been brewing on the inside and wanting to break out of that castle, wanting to break out of those walls, wanting to break out of those structures and sort of try something radical or try something completely different and sort of see what happens when you do something out of the normal, out of the ordinary. And so it feels like there has been this this somewhat like clashing energy within you, but I also feel that it has been so like subdued that on the surface level, or like if someone just like looked at you, I don't think that they would have been able to see that that was sort of happening for you, because I feel like that clashing energy happened on a much more like deep subconscious, or yeah, on a much like internal level, on a much more internal level. So I feel like this chapter that you are now closing out has been one where you haven't really been able to see what it is that you yourself are capable of. And I feel like there could be several different reasons. For some of you, it could be that it's because like you have been provided with the safety, with the living conditions that you need, so you really haven't had to like fend for yourself or put yourself to the test, and things have sort of like maybe come a bit more easily for you. Like, again, I really want to make it super clear, I am not judging anyone, I am not passing judgments or criticisms or anything like that. It's just the energy that I'm feeling, okay? And it's like, you know, so not judging. So for some of you, I feel like it's just been like kind of coming more easily. And for others of you, I feel like it's maybe because there has been some sort of silent rules in place, silent norms in place, where it just hasn't felt like really acceptable, or you're just used to having things done a specific sort of way. And maybe you haven't really wanted to like upset anyone, or again, shake up any foundations or any systems that have been in place and that have been working. So yeah, I just feel like there are different reasons for you sort of being in that safe space. But I feel like that safe space has become sort of confining. It's become something that is starting to like cage you in rather than, you know, make you feel good and comfortable and well cared for. And so I feel like now, as you're starting to close this chapter out, that more like driven and more like powerful, that sort of aspect of you is yearning to come forward now. It's yearning to make a mark. It's yearning to shake some things up and break out of the mold, break out of the norms and the structures that you have been in, and really like go and have something new, something that would offer something for your soul, right? Something that would really allow you to like feel free. Because I do feel like there is a lot of potential within you that hasn't been allowed, or it hasn't been able to sort of manifest. It hasn't been able to play out. Because again, maybe it's something that you have been conditioned to believe. That, you know, there are so many of these beliefs that get instilled within us when we are young and formidable, when we are still growing up, and like so many of those beliefs are just like, they're not really in place to help us. They are in place to control us. And so I feel like for some of you, it could be this sort of this thing that was taught to you. Now, even though there is a lot of feminine energy here, again, I want to emphasize, it doesn't mean that you have to be female. It's just this like, it's this feminine, more quiet, more receptive energy. Again, it's present within all of us to bigger and lesser extent. But I feel like that has been sort of the dominating force. But it's the kind of like, I almost feel like this masculine aspect that is supposed to be balancing out the feminine aspect, that has been suppressed within you. And so maybe it has been instilled within you by your family, by society, by school, you know, by your community, whatever it is. But I feel like there's this instilling of the sense that you need to be taken care of, or you need to fit into some sort of construct, and almost this like, I don't want to say disempowering, but it's like you've been made to feel like you need to rely on someone else, or you need to rely on something other than you, basically. And so I don't know, I just feel like now the sense that I'm getting is that you're starting to realize that that's not true. You're starting to realize that you are much more capable of like looking out for yourself and taking care of yourself than you have been made to believe up to this point. And again, it could be that some of you have just like, you know, some of you have been living in a way that maybe like everything has been provided for you, everything has been done for you, so you haven't really had to find out what it is that, or what it's like to sort of live independently and on your own terms. So it really does depend on like your sort of upbringing, your sort of foundation, and everything that you have experienced in your own life. But this is definitely this like sort of waking up kind of energy that I see coming. I feel like this energy brewing, as I was saying. I feel like it's slowly started to build up more and more and more within you, and it's now ready to like express itself in full form. So that's what I feel like this chapter has been for you, largely. Living in this safe space and just following the norms, following the traditions, again, whether in your family, in your society, in your neighborhood, whatever sort of like social constructs you are part of. But I feel like now things are starting to change. That's the energy that you're leaving behind. And yeah, learning to sort of rely more on yourself. So, wow. Okay, let's look at the tarot messages now, because it's going to be really interesting to see what the biggest lesson was for you in this chapter and what the biggest gift is. And again, I just want to remind you that these things, like for some of you, it's still an ongoing thing and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like it's going to be different again for you, whether you are closing this out sooner or later. But that's definitely something that you're walking away from. Okay, we have Temperance in reverse and the Hanged Man. Okay, so this is the lesson. This is the lesson. And what's the gift? We have the Queen of Swords in reverse with the Six of Swords in reverse. Very interesting. One of the biggest lessons that I feel like this chapter has taught you is patience. I definitely do feel that with the Hanged Man. I feel like the lesson of having patience is definitely been instilled within you very deeply now. The sense of like being able to stay calm and not allow your emotions to like go all like out of whack because something is like happening within you that you're maybe not 100% happy with, or if your buttons are being pushed, or, you know, like, I just feel like this, this ability to, as I said, like stay calm and like rational and sort of not really like blown out of proportion. That's what I feel like this chapter has massively taught you. So even with this, like even the Temperance in reverse, even during the times when you do feel like sort of lashing out or acting out or like using that sort of powerful energy that is surging within you in maybe a more destructive way, I feel like you are not doing that, or you have learned how to not do that, how to like not break the foundation, right? How to like solve the situation or deal with the situation in a more like aware, responsible and mature way is kind of what I want to say. So I feel like that has been the biggest lesson for you in tempering your emotions, not letting them overpower you, and just having patience. But when it comes to this gift, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse with the Six of Swords in reverse. I feel like one of the gifts that this chapter has taught you is, first of all, to like, it has made you not run away from your problems, is one of the things that I want to say with the Six of Swords in reverse. I feel like it has given you the ability to not run away from your problems and to sort of like stay and deal with them. But on the other hand, I feel like it has illuminated to you the ways in which you haven't really like honored your own voice with the Queen of Swords reverse here. I feel like it has sort of illuminated to you the ways in which you haven't like taken the necessary action. Because the Queen of Swords upright, she knows exactly what she needs to do and she's not afraid to do it. So if something is not up to scratch, if something is not right, she acts on it and she lets everyone know. But I feel like you haven't really, maybe been too expressive about it. And so I feel like thanks to this chapter, thanks to you staying in that environment, it has now been sort of illuminated to you how much you have been holding yourself back and how much you haven't yet seen and figured out what you are really capable of with the Queen of Swords reversed. So there is a lot, as I said, there is a lot of potential within you that is waiting to be expressed. And the Queen of Swords is very capable, very intelligent, very much self-sufficient and independent. And so now, because of these conditions, because of this chapter, because of this like contrasting energy that has been slowly sort of battling it out within you, where a part of you wants to like stay still in that status quo and stay in that safe space, and another part wants to like break free and do what it wants to kind of like go and explore and do your own thing. I feel like thanks to that, like now you have this space, so now your attention has been focused on these questions of like self-reliance and independence and what you really are like capable of doing. So I really I really feel like this is one of those like badass readings or yeah, I don't know whether there's any other way to like say it, but this actually kind of slightly reminds me of like pile 1. So if you felt drawn to pile 1, there could be something in there for you as well. But anyway, let's keep going. So now that we have looked at the chapter that you are sort of leaving behind, we will look at the chapter that you are moving into. So let's see where this is going, or where you are going next. And sorry about all the fidgeting, but it's just we need to make some space here. Okay, so let's see. Wow, we have secrets. We have detective, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth, versus voyeurism or falsifying information. Okay. We also have she who dreams, escape dreams fantasy. We have vulture. And we have snake. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm not surprised by the cards that have come out for your next chapter, pile number 3, because it's exactly that Queen of Swords energy that we were talking about. And I feel like that Queen of Swords is finally sort of having her say, is kind of what I want to say here with the with this next chapter. And I actually want to mainly start with the vulture, because that's the energy that I for some reason want to associate with the Queen of Swords here. I feel like you are going to actually be sort of, how should I say? I feel like this next chapter is going to make you sort of much more fierce within, or in your own, like, in your own emotions and in who you are and what you want to do, what you want to say. It's like much less held back energy. This feels very much like held back energy, and this feels just like completely letting loose, letting it go. And I really, like, I absolutely love that. I actually do really love that. Because you, like, it's almost like this opportunity for you to reinvent yourself and to reinvent your life. And to like start creating completely new traditions, completely new structures for yourself. And those are the structures that like that are much more aligned with you. And I feel like you'll still be putting a lot of that wisdom that you have learned, all of the lessons that you have learned from this past chapter, I feel like you'll be putting them to very good use here with the vulture and the snake. It's like you have learned so much, and like these experiences that you've gone through are still valuable, even though maybe they didn't give you the space to really like explore your own specific traits or skills or talents or gifts or something like that. But they still taught you something. And so I feel like you are taking all of those lessons with you and putting them to good use in that next chapter. But I also feel like you are going to be, like, as I said, focusing on what it is that you are really capable of. So that's where the secrets, the detective, and the dreams part, like, all comes into play. So as I said, it's actually such a cool, like contrasting or mirroring energy, because I was feeling with the buffalo, right, that there is this like brewing storm within you that is like urging to break free, and that it's starting to like kind of overpower this structure that you have been in. And it's very clear to me that that's kind of what's coming out here as well, especially with all the lilac tones as well that we can see on this card too. So it definitely feels like I actually want to put this buffalo over here, because I feel like that's a very important character in your story here, pile 3. That's the energy that is going to be dominant in your next chapter. That's where the buffalo finally breaks free and starts doing what it wants. And so this is you like getting to the bottom of your own life, of your own story, of like who you really are, and again, what you're really capable of. Like putting yourself to the test and seeing everything that has previously been hidden from you, that you haven't been able to acknowledge or maybe even appreciate within yourself. So there is going to be a lot of like cool exploring that you will be doing in this next chapter. And with that exploration, all of these new doors, all of these new opportunities are opening up to you, because you'll be seeing like what you were able to do now because of everything that that you get to decide. So it's so like liberating again. So I feel like I want to say that pile 1, if you did feel some sort of draw to it, definitely recommend watching that one, because I do feel a lot of similarities between these two piles. But yeah, it's like there is going to be a lot of great things for you to discover and sort of like restart, refresh, renew, transform in your own life according to what you want to experience from here on out, which direction you want to take your life in. Because I feel like you are setting yourself free from the feeling of needing to abide by these constructs. For some of you, it could mean that you are actually like moving away from home. For some of you, it could mean that you are leaving some sort of place of work. For some of you, it could mean that you are deciding to become single if you've been in a relationship that, hasn't really allowed you to be you. whatever it is, even if it's something that, even if this is something that like has been happening internally, where you maybe have felt like you've needed to rely on someone else, or you've needed someone else's help, or you haven't really seen any possibility of like living life by yourself on your own terms, and having that sort of knowledge, having that sort of realization that you are capable of taking care of yourself, like in whatever form that sort of that safe construct has been for you. I feel like you're just breaking the walls down, and so yeah, I don't know, I just feel like saying get ready to explore life, get ready to explore what the universe has in store, and what, everything that is available to you, and I feel like it's going to be really exciting. The only thing that I do want to say is that I kind of feel with this vulture that there could be some difficult emotions that you may need to sort of face or come to terms with, especially when it comes to whatever this construct is that has been keeping you, I don't want to say stuck, but at least in this like one place, living in this one way. Whatever this construct is, there could be certain emotions that you start feeling towards that construct, like feelings of resentment, feelings of anger, feelings of like disappointment, and just like, you know, like you just kind of feel fed up that you had to sort of be subject to that construct for such a long time. So that's something that could possibly be coming up for you, but I feel like you'll be able to transmute those emotions quite easily, because again, I feel like the biggest thing here, the most important thing here is the freedom, is everything that this new chapter is kind of opening up for you, and all of these cool new things that you'll start discovering and seeing for the first time, seeing all of the things that you could do. But let's look at the tarot cards as well before we close the reading out with a parting piece of advice from Spirit. So let's see what the sorry, my words are completely gone, so just bear with me, please, pile 3. Let's see what the biggest challenge is that you'll be facing during this next chapter, and what the biggest gift is. So with the challenge, okay, yeah, we have the 9 of Cups in reverse with the Knight of Swords in reverse, and the gift is the Page of Cups in reverse. Oh, okay, and the Knight of Cups upright. Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, so I definitely feel that one of the biggest challenges that you will be facing in this next chapter is this like hesitation of putting yourself out of the comfort zone, because no matter how much this past construct has been keeping you stuck and like not really moving, right, like the Hanged Man, this is non-movement energy. Also with the 6 of Swords in reverse, non-moving energy. It's very much like just being present, being in place for a very long time. And as much as it has been confining, it has also still been relatively easy. It has also still been relatively like stress-free or problem-free. Like it's been comfortable and it's familiar. And so I feel like the biggest challenge for you is going to be getting over the sort of the fear or the hesitation of stepping into that space that is outside of those safe walls, those confines, putting yourself out of that comfort zone. And it is such a scary thing. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that that's coming up here. But I also feel like it's one of those things that is like much more rewarding than you can even imagine right now. Because with the She Who Dreams, I do feel like you are moving towards things that like your soul is actually dreaming of, the things that you maybe have been fantasizing about, but maybe you haven't allowed yourself to believe that could actually be true, or you haven't allowed yourself to move towards those things. But I feel like with this next chapter, as you are sort of, as your focus is shifting, as you are breaking free, now you have the freedom to explore those things. Because looking at the gift, right, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Knight of Cups, like these are both, again, very much like dream focused and romantic, like fantasy driven cards. But I feel like with the Page of Cups in reverse next to the Knight of Cups, it's almost like the gift is that you can stop just like dreaming about it and you can actually start going towards it. Like you can actually start taking concrete steps to get to your goal, to get to your dream, to get to that ultimate fantasy that your soul wants to experience in this lifetime. So this is like a whole like 180 that I see you doing. And even if it's something that kind of takes some time, even if it's something that is not like, you know, happens in an instant and your whole life is turned upside down, you know, I feel like it's going to be expressing, this next chapter is going to be expressing in different ways for you. But yeah, I just feel like it's going to be worth it. In the end, it's going to be worth it with the Knight of Cups here. And that's what this next chapter is going to be giving you. A chance for a new life, a chance for a really emotionally fulfilling life. One where you actually follow your heart and go down a path that makes you happy, instead of just feeling safe, right? So, oh my goodness, this was quite a reading, pile number 3. This feels really, really exciting, I do have to say. So I'm really thrilled for you and for your next chapter. Even though it may be a bit scary, I understand that. I absolutely understand that, but I definitely feel like the universe is pushing you there for a reason, and this like brewing storm within you is again there for a reason. So anyway, let's see what the parting message is from Spirit for you regarding this journey of yours. Oh my god, okay, this is way too perfect, and I love all of the moons that are coming through here as well. We have She-Wolf, unleash the wild within. Yes, amen. Seriously, pile 3, amen. You have been tame for way too long. You have been like just shackled and held in place, and even if it's a comfortable prison, right? I'm sorry that I'm using such a harsh word, but even if it's a comfortable prison with all of the luxuries imaginable, it's still a prison, right? And you've been in that prison for far too long. You have been staying dormant in that for far too long, and I feel like your soul and your heart are just yearning to have that freedom, to roam, to explore, to go wild, to let that raw nature, that that essence of you that wants to go and explore and live its most authentic life, it's time to let that out. So yeah, oh my goodness, pile 3. I really, really, really loved your reading, and I am super excited for your next journey. I really hope that you are too. So please let me know how this reading spoke to you, whether it spoke to you in any way, if you could relate to anything, and yeah, just let me know. You can give me a thumbs up. You can also leave me a comment down in the comment section, and you know, do all of that stuff. But really, I would super, super, super appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel as well. So, you know, that we could hang out in the future and we could do more of these really cool readings together. But anyway, if I don't see you in any of the other piles and you are leaving me here, then thank you so, so much. And I hope that you liked it. But please take care of yourselves, and I am sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 4. You chose the Smokey Quartz, and yeah, we're gonna put it on the side here and we will get straight into the cards. Now, as you can see, we have quite a lot of them. So the way that this is going to go is we're going to be doing 2 separate piles. In one pile, we will be looking at the chapter that you are currently in and that you are closing out, what that chapter has taught you, and what was the biggest gift that you got from going through that chapter. And then in the other pile, we will be looking at the chapter that you will be stepping into next, and what is going to be the biggest challenge you'll be facing in that chapter, and also what will be the biggest gift that you will receive from going through that. So we'll get this like nice contrasting energy, and we will close the reading out with a last piece of advice from the universe. So yeah, quite a lot to go through. We are first going to start off with your chapter, your current chapter. So I'm going to put the tarot cards and all of that aside. But yeah, so the last thing I want to say is that this is a general reading, so please take the parts that resonate and everything else you can leave behind. Okay, let's jump in. So we have the Art of Seduction as the first card of the chapter that you are leaving behind. We also have Advocate, inspires you to put compassion into action, or embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Okay. We also have She Who Forgives, remorse, guilt, forgiveness. Okay. Wow. Okay. We have Crocodile. And we have Gazelle. Actually, I'm going to change those around like so. Okay. I get a very strong sense that the keyword of the chapter that you are closing out is manipulation. Now, I do want to point out that this is probably going to be different for all of you. So whether you are on the giving end or the receiving end, that's something that you will have to sort of put in place for yourself. Because definitely for some of you, I do feel that you have been the one who has maybe slightly taken advantage of someone else or a certain situation. And maybe it's been several situations or several someone's, but it feels like there has been a pattern of like making things work out in your best interests, even if it's sometimes, you know, even if it sometimes means stepping on someone's toes or not really, you know, thinking too much about other people's feelings or the morality of the situation or the ethics of the situation. That's for some of you, right? And you'll know if that's you. But for others of you, I definitely feel like you have been the one who has experienced this being taken advantage of, or being used for someone else's gain. And so, yeah, there's this weird dynamic, because I definitely see this like prey and predator type of energy here, right? With the crocodile and the gazelle. It just, there's something very like secretive and something very almost like hidden that, and I feel that the secrets or the hidden aspect of this energy is like the true motives or the true intentions behind something. And for some of you, this chapter has been like a very, I almost want to say like a lifelong pattern, or it's been a very, you know, like a long-lasting pattern that either you've been doing or that someone else has been doing to you. And I do want to say though that if it's you that has been doing it, I feel like it's almost been, I don't feel like ill intent necessarily behind it. I feel like it's almost been this like subconscious thing that you've been doing. Because I kind of get the sense that like maybe that was the only way that you could sort of be, I don't want to say taken seriously, but it's like, it's almost like that was the only way that you knew how to assert yourself, like be in control, get what it is that you want. And for others of you, I feel like it's almost been instilled in you. Again, I'm only talking about those who, you know, who have been the ones doing this sort of manipulating or turning situations in your favor, right? Like that kind of thing. And again, this is not like a judgmental thing that we're doing here, because I'm pretty sure that we've all done it, right? It's part of human nature. And I do feel like for some of you, this has been something that, again, has almost been like instilled in you by other people's, like the things that people have taught you, the things that society has taught you, the things that, like, you know, pop culture, movies, books, fairy tales, all those things have taught you. And I do get a very strong, like, feminine energy, and not just feminine, but like very like beautiful feminine energy, like specifically physically. And again, I'm not talking about gender, I'm just talking about the energy. So whether you're male, female, or anything in between, I just feel that there is this like this beauty about you, or this physical attractiveness that is undeniable. And I feel like you've sort of learned that that's a commodity. That's something that you can use to like get what you want in life. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like now this if this is you, you're starting to sort of see that there are other ways to go about getting what it is that you want. And it's more so like focused on, even though we will be looking at your next chapter next, but I'm just kind of getting this like sense that this chapter that you're leaving behind now is leading you into like a more like into a chapter where you start appreciating the other qualities about you that are not necessarily simply tied to the way that you look, or the way that you present yourself, or the way that you carry yourself, right? There's more like there's deeper substance stuff that is coming out on the surface. But again, going back to the more general picture, for those of you who have experienced this sort of like manipulation and being taken advantage of, or played on. Maybe someone has played on your weaknesses in some way and turned them against, or turned those in their favor. I just feel like this chapter, however many times you've had to go through that, it was sort of this like, I feel like it was sort of this way of building up a certain kind of like resilience and maybe more like discernment in you as well, because with the gazelle, it's almost like a bit of a naive energy that I'm getting. And again, I really want to emphasize that this is in no way like criticism or judgment. Naivete is actually something that is pure, it's innocent, it's something beautiful, right? It's like thinking the best from everyone, or always seeing the best in people and never really like believing that anyone is out there to harm you or to get you. And that's a really beautiful state of mind. It's very pure. So being naive is like, even though now it's almost used as like an insult or like a negative term, there is actually something very beautiful about it. And I do feel like there is so much beauty here. And so I feel like if you are the one who has been taken advantage of, then it is coming from this beauty that you have as well. But it's like this pure, unassuming, like just gentle beauty that I feel, and this goodness within you. But this chapter has clearly been sort of, you've been put through this, I feel like, even though we're going to look at the lesson any minute now, but I feel like you've been put through this to sort of teach you about discernment, to teach you about like sort of trusting yourself, trusting your senses, your spidey senses, right? And those, we do kind of need those senses as well to alert us of any sort of danger. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I just feel like it's sort of, this chapter has made you like start learning how to stand up for yourself, how to stand up for your value, and not let just anyone sort of near it and take advantage of it. Like that's the sort of energy that I'm feeling. So again, just take it as it resonates, right? Whether you are on the giving end of this manipulation or receiving end of it. I feel like that has been the main focus of this chapter that you are now closing out. But let's look at the tarot cards as well and see what this chapter has actually taught you, what the biggest lesson was, and what was its biggest gift. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles to start off with, and the Page of Swords as the biggest lesson. And we have Shadow Work in reverse. Wow, with the Lovers in reverse as the biggest gift. So with the Two of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Swords, I feel like the biggest gift here has been to sort of get you out of this like doubtful place or this uncertain place, and like get you to be more decisive, get you to be more like honest and truthful, because the Page of Swords is all about truth. It's all about like standing up for what is right, standing up for your beliefs, your values, and not really being afraid to express those and stand against those who are maybe like not acting out so morally, right? It's a very kind of righteous energy with the Page of Swords. But it's also, because it's the page, it's also like learning that sort of like righteousness and sort of coming to terms with your own truth. And so I feel like for those of you who have been the ones sort of maybe manipulating certain situations in order to get what it is that you want. I feel like this lesson, this chapter has taught you that, like, you're not only like doing harm to other people in that way, but you're also sort of like, it's also affecting you in a negative sense as well in the long run. And so I feel like it's the biggest lesson for you has been to like enable you to see that, and also to sort of like get you to see, as I was talking about before, get you to see that there are other ways that you can get what it is that you want, that there's more to you than just the surface level, superficial stuff that you feel like is your biggest commodity, your biggest asset. Even though it may be one of your biggest assets, it's definitely not the only one. And I feel like this chapter that you've gone through has sort of taught you that. Taught you to sort of look deeper, taught you to see beyond the surface level stuff. And again, for those of you who've been on the receiving end of this manipulation, this chapter has taught you that, like, you don't have to please everyone. You're not here to do that. You're here to experience your own life and go through your own experiences, your own lessons, your own joys, your own sadnesses, all of those things. But you're not here to sort of service someone else. And I feel like that's what this lesson has really been about. It's like, you can't be everything for everyone, right? Because with the Two of Pentacles, it's like, it's almost like you've tried to be nice to everyone, or to be friends with everyone, or to like not upset anyone. And it's like, if you try and do this people pleasing, like at one point it's just not going to work. And so I feel like that's the biggest lesson in this chapter for you, that you shouldn't really have to do that, because it's just going to end up taking too much out of you, and it's not really giving you anything back. So it's just this like building up of discernment and the strength to sort of stand up for yourself, just like the Page of Swords. So when we look now at the biggest gift, we have shadow work in reverse with the Lovers in reverse. So with the Lovers, it kind of definitely, okay, that was a weird construct. It definitely hints at like relationship dynamics. So I feel like the biggest gift here has been the breaking of the pattern, especially with the shadow work in reverse. It's the breaking of the pattern. It's illuminating the things that previously have been like, that maybe you've been blind to. Again, like this is universal regardless of like where you stand in this scenario. Like, these have been certain blind spots for you, and now they are being illuminated, so that like those sorts of behavior patterns or cycles are basically put to a stop, that they're not going to be continuing further down the line with other people as well, with new relationships as well. And it's again, as I was saying, like, regardless of whether like you are on the receiving end or whether you have been on the giving end of this manipulation, like, it's not doing you any good. Like, it's not actually fulfilling you in any way, right? Especially, I mean, obviously, for those of you who have been the ones who have been taken advantage of in some way, but for those of you who've been doing it in order to get what it is that you want, I feel like with the Lovers in reverse, it's like it's not been actually giving you this true full potential. fulfillment, sorry, this true fulfillment that you have been looking for, it hasn't been really giving you that. And so this is kind of like, this illumination is like a blessing to sort of divert you to a different way of doing things, or to a different path, kind of, which would be way more way more fulfilling for you. But let's look at the chapter that you are now stepping into, and I'm gonna have to fidget around with the cards anyway, so yeah, just don't mind me. Wow, we have keys on trees. We also have the divine child. Innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine, or an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. We also have she who questions, curiosity, destiny, search. It's interesting that we also have the keys here. Oh, we have owl and we have eagle. Wow, okay, cool. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I definitely associate the owl and actually the eagle as well with the divine, but especially the owl. The owl is like a very feminine expression of that, and I feel like the eagle is a very masculine expression of that. So I'm loving that this sort of like divine element is coming through in your next chapter, because it just feels so much more honest and true and authentic, and especially to yourself, which is one of the most important things. But let me move those around a bit so that we could focus on these cards. So I find it really interesting that your next chapter is like so much tied to this like diving deep, or finding some sort of like answers and sort of deeper meanings and that sort of thing, when the chapter that you've been in has been so much more like associated or tied to the physical realm. And it's also interesting that I was talking about this like surface level stuff that I was feeling with your current chapter, where maybe a lot of the focus has been on the material things and on the sort of superficial things. Again, not a judgment. It's just been where the focus has been. But I feel like now, as you are sort of realizing that there is way more to you, and there are so many other ways that you could use the talents and the gifts and the blessings that you have, I feel like there is just this whole like, this spiral is almost what I want to say, that you will be like getting into, and it's going to be taking you like deeper and deeper and deeper into some real like insights and like mind-blowing discoveries. And I don't know, maybe some of you really turn your focus on something a lot more like spiritual. Maybe some of you will turn your focus on something more religious. Whatever really works for you. But I do see you sort of in this next chapter starting to sort of see the bigger picture, starting to see things, see your life, see the way that you have been doing things and the way that you have been playing out these relationship dynamics, all of these like choices that you have made, all of the mistakes that you have made. Like, you're starting to see all of that from a higher vantage point and seeing sort of the bigger picture of why that has been the case, what has led to that sort of behavior, what has led to those decisions, and like sort of making sense of it all. And at the same time, I feel like it's going to be feeding into this desire to learn out more about like where to go next, or what the best way for you to go next, or to proceed. What would be the best way for you to proceed? Like that sort of, like those sort of topics, those sort of bigger questions are going to be the focus for you in this next chapter. And so, yeah, I think this is going to be really like eye-opening for you. And I love that it's saying innocence and purity and redemption, because I do feel like that's sort of the energy that you will be getting back to. This like, this getting to the heart of what truly matters, and sort of leaving all of the again, the superficial, the surface level stuff that isn't actually as important as you maybe have believed up to this point to be. Like you're kind of leaving it aside, or you're not putting that much like focus on it anymore. You're not giving it that much weight in your life anymore. And you're sort of starting to get to the real core of things. And I feel like it's the core is coming from within you, like starting to find out like what you can really do and what you should be really doing with your life. Like what really interests you if you leave like everything else aside and sort of turn your focus on more of these like deeper aspects and maybe more like spiritual questions as well. So let's see what is going to be the biggest challenge that you'll be facing as you are discovering your destiny and your true path and all of these bigger answers to these bigger questions. So let's see what is going to be the biggest challenge for you and what is going to be the biggest gift. So we have the Six of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Five of Pentacles with the Tower in reverse. The biggest challenge for you in this next chapter, I feel like, is going to be sort of, first of all, striking this balance between like the spiritual world or these bigger picture things and the sort of the physical material way of life. Because I mean, even though your focus is shifting more on these like big life direction sort of questions, it's not that you can just like stop living in the material realm. Like you still need to be a part of that as well. And so I feel like it may be slightly difficult for you to adjust that balance for you. Because I almost want to say that like being in this physical reality and leaning on what it is that you know that works for you, what it is that, you know, you're kind of used to, it's such an easy trap to fall into. And so I feel like that is something that is definitely going to be one of the biggest challenges for you. Plus, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, the Wheel of Fortune requires a certain amount of like faith and trust, and like taking your hands off the wheel and saying to the universe that I trust you. I know that like you will be, you know, whatever comes, right? And I can't really control that. So in a way, like letting go of the feeling of control, letting go of this desire to make certain things go your way or make certain things play out the way that you want them to. I feel like it's going to be very difficult for you to sort of step away from that process. Or again, like if you've been the one who has sort of been taken advantage of, right? Or if your like weaknesses have been sort of used against you or whatever, I feel like it's going to be probably very difficult to still sort of hold that faith or belief that like not everyone is out to get you, but at the same time having this sense of like, you know, discernment, or like getting your senses tuned to spot when something is actually quite not balanced, or when something is actually quite not like just fair, you know. So it's going to be a sort of a delicate balance that needs to be struck. And it's definitely going to take you some time to get there. It's going to take some practice, and it's going to take some just like getting used to incorporating this new aspect, again, regardless of where you are in that scenario. So basically learning this like fair and balanced, equal, like give and take with other people, this equal power dynamic, whilst at the same time like sort of not trying to control the situation as well. Doing what you can on your end to give it as fair of a treatment as possible, but then like believing that things are going to be working out for the best without you needing to really interfere. I hope that made sense. I really do, because I'm struggling with words again, and I'm just, yeah, never mind. Anyway, so that is going to be the biggest challenge for you. But looking at the biggest gift here, now you may look at the Five of Pentacles and the Tower card, and like they are sort of mostly regarded as like negative cards or more difficult, challenging cards. But I actually really like seeing them here, because it's telling me that when you go through this next chapter, the false constructs, the false like structures that have been built with these with this past chapter, those are going to be broken down. Those are going to be sort of stripped away, and what you're going to be left with is like the true, pure, like essence, or what's truly valuable. Everything else is going to be like everything else that you don't really need, or is built on some sort of like shaky foundation or inauthentic foundation. All of that is going to be broken down. And I also want to say with the Five of Pentacles here that I feel like some of the things that are going to be sort of brought into focus for you maybe as well are like some of those insecurities that have based this these past behaviors or this pattern in the first place, right? What were those insecurities that sort of led you to believe that maybe you had to, you know, do something maybe a bit, you know, not something that is not as nice to someone else in order to get what it is that you want? Or what was it, what sort of like insecurity or feeling of like not being good enough led you to a place where you allowed people to just like walk all over you, or treat you however they wanted to, or take all of the best traits that you have and use them for their own benefit, right? Like what led you to that behavior or that pattern? And I feel like that's like that sort of insecurity or that basis for that pattern is something that is also going to be like stripped away. And as you sort of discover it, as you sort of start learning about your true value, because I feel like it's skin deep, it's something that is way more substantial than what is apparent on the outside or what attracts people to you. And once you sort of discover that, I feel like then you can start building up this much more solid foundation that is based on something that is truly valuable and not just like valuable on surface level, if that makes sense. So this in essence is like, this next chapter is allowing you to really put the focus on like just something much more sturdy, is kind of what I want to say. Yeah, and it is going to be giving you the chance to like build yourself up from a much, much stronger point. But yeah, so that's kind of what I feel for your next chapter. It's super divine. It's like there's just so much depth in your next chapter, and I feel like it's going to be a very, very insightful period of life for you. So I hope that you are excited about it, because I mean, it looks like groundbreaking. It looks like life-altering stuff, and in the best way possible. Because it's going to lead you to things that are actually fulfilling, that are actually taking care of like all of your needs and making you feel good about yourself at the same time. So yeah, that was the main part of the reading, but we're going to close the reading out with the last oracle card from Spirit, giving you some parting advice. Wow, we have Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. Oh my goodness. See, like, I love that it's saying growth, because I do feel like that's exactly what is going to be happening here. It is a major, major learning curve that you are going to be experiencing in this chapter. But again, it's exactly what I was saying, right? It's like, it's allowing you to get to the results, or get to the outcomes that would truly like tick all of your boxes and truly make you feel abundant, feel fulfilled, feel joy, right? So this is like the truly rewarding stuff, not just surface level rewarding stuff. And wow, yeah, that's kind of it. I don't feel like I need to drag this on any longer. So very cool reading, pile number 4. I do have to say, I hope that like, okay, the cards are all wacky, but anyway, well, we're at the end of the reading anyway, but you know, still. So that was the reading. I hope that you liked it. I hope that at least, you know, it spoke to you in some way, and that it gave you something useful to consider and to get ready for. But yeah, wow, it was such an interesting reading. But I'm gonna close this reading now. So thank you so much for watching this. I would love it if you gave me a thumbs up or left me a comment or all of that good jazz if you felt that this reading truly spoke to you. And yeah, it would really mean so much to me. And also, if you haven't already, but if you do want to see more of these readings and hang out with me in the future and join our little feather tribe, then definitely don't forget to subscribe as well. But thank you, pile number 4. I am wishing you all the best. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.